The client has mastered the program. Your graphs look great. The team's high-fiving. And 2 weeks later, the skill vanishes. The parent's confused, you're frustrated, and suddenly mastered doesn't mean what you thought it did. Here's the truth. Most programs fail not because they're bad, but because they weren't built to last. Generalization isn't a bonus. It's the whole point. Today, I'm going to show you 5 critical fixes every BCBA needs for generalization that actually sticks. Stick with me. Each of these fixes stacks, and the last one's the clincher. I'm Amelia Dalphonse, a BCBA for almost a decade and co-founder of Master ABA. I help BCBAs turn fragile programs into real-world skills, and inside the dojo, we do it on repeat. If you're a BCBA tired of mastered skills disappearing, this one's for you. So lesson 1 is design for transfer, not mastery. If you teach for mastery alone, don't be shocked when it doesn't transfer to other situations. We taught a client to tact dog in NET at home, and every time the family dog walked by, we captured it. The kid nailed it with that one dog. Then we hit the park. There was a new dog and nothing. Think of a skill like a seedling. It won't survive unless you plant it in different soils. So here's the fix for that. Before teaching starts, identify at least 3 generalization targets. Different dogs, different settings, different materials. Bake them into the plan from day 1. Vary instructors and locations right away. Even if you're working with only one RBT on the case, there are other instructors who are available. Parents, you, siblings, take advantage of all of them and build those into your programming. Probe the skills weekly, not just at the end. If you've got a skill that's considered mastered, pull 3 new SDs this week and run a generalization probe. That's my challenge for you. But even the best designed plan won't stick unless the right people are running it. And this brings us to lesson 2. Generalization lives or dies with parents. You're not the one running these skills long term. Parents are. Parents are the ones with these kids for life. We had a client who crushed bedtime and morning routines with staff, but with mom, she watched, but she never actually practiced. When we discharged, everything started to unravel. Let's say it's toothbrushing. The client's independent with staff, but mom stands back. Grab that moment and say, hey, mom, it's your turn. Let's practice this. Coach her through BST. Model it. Practice. Feedback. Repeat. That 1 rep with mom sticks more than 10 with staff. Show her why it matters. Get her running missions in between sessions. And yes, track that. Lesson 3 is to stop polishing your stimuli. Life's messy. Your materials should be too. We had a kid who labeled fork using perfect flashcards in a quiet room, but at dinner, when they were surrounded by noise and spaghetti sauce, there was a total disconnect. If your materials look like they belong in a Montessori catalog, you're setting the kid up for failure. Here's the fix for that. Use real-world stuff from the jump. Mix up size, shape, texture, and color. Lose the laminator. Real life doesn't come in clean edges. Make a stimulus variation bin. Pull items from the home. Taylor and Ryden in their research nailed this. Varied practice and reinforcement fading makes maintenance stick. Without it, skills fade fast. Okay, so your materials are messy and real, but what happens after you fade out? That's where things often fall apart, which brings us to lesson 4. Maintenance isn't optional. If you're not planning for maintenance, you're planning for the learner to lose the skill. One client mastered teeth brushing, independence was high, then we stopped running it. 30 days later, we were back to step 1. Here's what one big review found. Learners who hit 90 to 100% mastery kept in generalized skills better than anything else. And anything else is fragile. And how often are we using that 80% mastery criteria? So here's how to lock this in. Schedule weekly maintenance probes. If you've got 5 spare minutes during a session, run a brush up probe. Don't let mastery rot. Build a maintenance matrix. Rotate targets monthly. If it's not probed, it's probably slipping. Some of your data collection systems do this automatically, but if they don't, you're going to have to fit this in. Think you've got generalization down. If your clients can't respond to a sibling, you're about to find out why it's not sticking. And this brings us to lesson 5. Stop ignoring siblings and peers. Skills built in isolation don't survive in the wild. We had a kid who followed instructions perfectly from adults. Then his sister asked him to hand over a toy and it was crickets. Her voice wasn't in the teaching plan. Bring siblings or parents into sessions every other week at a minimum. Get creative if you need to figure out how to get them into sessions. List out the real world cue givers, siblings, bus drivers, cousins, cafeteria staff. Generalize across them. And here's the truth. If only therapists are providing the SD for a skill, you didn't teach the skill, you taught a parrot routine. So let's review really quickly. Lesson 1, plant the skills in different soils, generalize from day 1. Lesson 2, hand over the wheel, get parents doing the reps. Lesson 3, lose the laminator, use the messy stuff. Lesson 4, probe it or lose it, build maintenance into your weekly rhythm. And lesson 5, bring in real world voices, not just staff. Everything we just covered, it's built into the dojo, real strategies, editable tools, and coaching to help you build programs that last. If you want generalization to be automatic, not accidental, this is your next move.